Every once in a while, somebody at bat will hit a home run with the bases loaded, and news outlets all over the country have to show that clip over and over again. We're going to do that tonight. Only this Grand Slam is in the realm of political hardball. Congratulations, Wayne Grudem and the good folks at townhall.com. I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
Hello, friend. I'm Randall Terry. I want to congratulate Wayne Grudem. To my knowledge, we have never met. But the good folks at townhall.com had the patriotic sense to post what he wrote. My wife read it to me the other night and said, "You've got to hear this. You've got to hear this." And I thought, this is so good. I'm going to read it on the air. All right, so I'm giving credit where credit is due. Consider this an instant replay of a grand slam in politics because this is brilliant. Now, let me set this up before I read it. Now that the good ship Lollipop has set sail, and I'm talking about the Hillary Clinton boat, and the Potamkin Village, triumph of the will, smoke and mirrors that we just saw at the DNC is behind us. The real work of getting people out to vote in November has begun. And there's something called voter suppression. Voter suppression, this is a key tool used in political battles, and it goes like this. I know that you're never going to vote for my campaign or my candidate, but I want you to not show up. I want you to not vote for my major opponent. Or I want you to vote for a third-party candidate, because usually you would vote for my opponent, but I just want to suppress your vote. Get you to stay home, get you to use your vote for a third-party candidate. That is going on right now with the Clinton people. They are doing everything in their power to suppress the evangelical vote. And there are many good, honest, hardworking evangelicals with whom I disagree fiercely, who are telling us that we cannot in good conscience vote for Donald Trump. I have done many shows on this. You can go to our archives, watch them for free. I think that is absolute nonsense and it is flawed logic. But rather than just recite my own reasonings again and again, I thought, let's just go ahead and read on a teleprompter, which I almost never do, read on a teleprompter the words of Wayne Grudem. And so, I begin. I'm actually going to put my glasses on. We'll lay some B-roll in from time to time, and this is unusual. For those of you who are regular watchers of the show, you know this, but I'm doing it because it's so good. Again, congratulations, Wayne. Some of my Christian friends tell me they can't in good conscience vote for Donald Trump because when faced with a choice between, quote, the lesser of two evils, close quote, the morally right thing to do is choose neither one. They recommend voting for a third party or a write-in candidate. As a professor who has taught Christian ethics for 39 years, I think their analysis is incorrect. Now that Trump has won the GOP nomination, I think voting for Trump is a morally good choice. American citizens need patience with each other in this difficult political season. Close friends are inevitably going to make different decisions about the election. We still need to respect each other and thank God that we live in a democracy with freedom to differ about politics. Amen to that. And we need to keep talking with each other because democracies function best when thoughtful citizens can calmly and patiently dialogue about the reasons for their differences. This is my contribution to that discussion. His heading is A Good Candidate with Flaws. I do not think that voting for Donald Trump is a morally evil choice because there is nothing morally wrong with voting for a flawed candidate if you think he will do more good for the nation than his opponent. In fact, it is the morally right thing to do. I did not support Trump in the primary season. I even spoke against him at a pastor's conference in February. But now I plan to vote for him. I do not think it is right to call him an evil candidate. I think rather he is a good candidate with flaws. And here's where they put up a political cartoon. He is egotistical, bombastic, and brash. He often lacks nuance in his statements. Sometimes he blurts out mistaken ideas, such as bombing the families of terrorists, that he later must abandon. He insults people. He can be vindictive when people attack him. He has been slow to disown and rebuke the wrongful words and actions of some angry fringe supporters. He has been married 3 times and claims to have been unfaithful in his marriages. These are certainly flaws, but I don't think they are disqualifying flaws in this election. If you just joined me, I'm Randall Terry. You're watching Voice of Resistance, and I am reading a political treatise from Wayne Grudem that showed up on townhall.com. I've got to take a break, giving credit where credit is due. This is like a replay of a political hardball grand slam. Don't go away. You're going to want to hear this because it gets better and better and better, and you're probably going to laugh. I know I did. If you own a business and would like to advertise on our program, please contact us. We are currently seen on over 130 television stations from coast to coast. We air at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then all times are local. We have a lot of reach, friend, and this is an opportunity at a great price for you to get your product or your service in front of hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people. Also, if there's something that's important to you and you'd like to have a month where you just say thank you to this ministry or promote a certain ministry or a certain cause, contact us. Our rates are incredibly affordable. You'd be surprised. And you, again, can reach into hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of homes. We're currently seen possibly in over 30 million homes. So give us a call, give us an email, and we'll put a commercial up for you. Hello, friend. If you just joined me, I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance. I'm reading the political treatise written by Wayne Grudem, which appeared recently on townhall.com, talking about the ethics of voting for Donald Trump, and that it is, in fact, a moral choice, and hence it may be an immoral choice to not support him because of who Hillary Clinton is. So congratulations to Town Hall for posting this, and great job, Mr. Grudem. I hope we get to meet someday. I'm going to continue reading. He ended up in the last section. He said, I don't think that Mr. Trump's flaws are disqualifying flaws in this election. On the other hand, I think some of the accusations hurled against him are unjustified. His many years of business conduct show that he is not racist or anti-legal immigrant or anti-Semitic or misogynistic. I think these are unjust magnifications by a hostile press exaggerating some careless statements he has made. I think he is deeply patriotic and sincerely wants the best for the country. He has been an unusually successful problem solver in business. He's raised remarkable children. Many who have known him personally speak highly of his kindness, thoughtfulness, and generosity. But the main reason I call him a good candidate with flaws is that I think most of the policies he supports are those that will do the most good for the nation. So, seek the good of the nation. Should Christians even try to influence elections at all? Yes, definitely. The Apostle Peter says Christians are exiles on this earth, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Therefore, I take seriously the prophet Jeremiah's exhortation to the Jewish people living in exile in Babylon. Quote, seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf, for in its welfare you will find your welfare. That's Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 7. By way of modern application, I think Christians today have a similar obligation to vote in such a way that will, quote, seek the welfare, close quote, of the United States. Therefore, the one overriding question to ask is this: which vote is most likely to bring the best results for the nation? If this election is close, which seems likely, then if someone votes for a write-in candidate instead of voting for Trump, this action will directly help Hillary Clinton. That's what I was talking about, voter suppression, people. Back to his words. This action will directly help Hillary Clinton because she will need one less vote to win. Therefore, the question that Christians should ask is this: can I in good conscience act in a way that helps a liberal like Hillary Clinton win the presidency? Under President Obama, a liberal federal government has seized more and more control over our lives. But this can change. This year, we have an unusual opportunity to defeat Hillary Clinton and the pro-abortion, pro-gender confusion, anti-religious liberty, tax and spend, big government liberalism that she champions. I believe that defeating that kind of liberalism would be a morally right action. Therefore, I feel the force of the words of James. Whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. And that's James chapter 4, verse 17. Some may feel it's easier to just stay away from this messy Trump versus Clinton election and perhaps not even vote. But the teachings of Scripture do not allow us to escape moral responsibility by saying that we decided to do nothing. The prophet Obadiah rebuked the people of Edom for standing by and doing nothing to help when the Babylonians conquered Jerusalem. Quote, "On that day you stood aloof, on the day that foreigners entered his gates and cast lots for Jerusalem, you were like one of them." That's Obadiah 1, chapter 11. If you just joined me, I'm reading an article from Wayne Grudem that appeared on townhall.com. It was so good, so compelling. I thought, I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to read it with a teleprompter on my show. I hope you're enjoying it. It gets better. Hang in there. I'll be right back. Friend, this program is supported by friends like you who believe in what we are doing. We run a very tight ship. Thankfully, we are on over 130 stations across the country, having tremendous impact. We get emails every day. We get letters in the mail, not every day, but almost every day. We hear from people who love what we're doing. What people don't understand is that it's sort of expensive to produce a television show like this. It doesn't require earth-shattering funds, but it does require financial help. So I am asking you, if you enjoy this program, throw us a $10 or a $20 bill every once in a while, or even a $50 or a $100 check. You see the address there on the screen. Your gifts are not tax deductible, by the way, because we want to be able to say what we want to say regarding politics without the IRS telling us no. So if you like the program, I ask for your support. Welcome back. I'm reading an article written by Dr. Wayne Grudem that was posted on townhall.com. I urge you to go to townhall.com because we've got some great stuff there. All right, let me continue reading. He said, "I am writing this article because I doubt that many I can't vote for Trump Christians have understood what an entirely different nation would result from Hillary Clinton as president, or have analyzed in detail how different a Trump presidency would be. In what follows, I will compare the results we could expect from a Clinton presidency with what we could expect from a Trump presidency. The Supreme Court with Clinton as president. What would it look like? Hillary Clinton would quickly replace Justice Scalia with another liberal like Breyer, Ginsburg, Sotomayor, and Kagan. This would give liberals a 5-4 majority on the Supreme Court, even without Justice Kennedy, and a 6-3 when he votes with them. But that's not all. Justice Ginsburg is 83, and she has had colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, and has a heart stent. Justice Kennedy is 80. Justice Breyer is 78. A President Clinton, Hillary Clinton, could possibly nominate 3 or 4 justices to the Supreme Court, locking in a far-left activist judiciary for perhaps 30 or more years. She could also add dozens of activist judges to federal district courts and courts of appeals, the courts where 99% of federal lawsuits are decided. Judicial tyranny of the type we have seen when abortion rights and same-sex marriage were forced on the nation would gain a permanent triumph. The nation would no longer be ruled by the people and their elected representatives, but by an unelected, unaccountable activist judges who would dictate from the bench about whatever they were pleased to decree. And there would be nothing in our system of government that anyone could do to stop them. Randall talking now, caveat, yes, they could be impeached for violating their oath of office, but that's another discussion. Right now, there is no political will to impeach the Supreme Court justices, even though they deserve it, and legally there is the option to do it. Back to Dr. Grudem. That is why this election is not just about Hillary Clinton. It's about defeating the far-left liberal agenda that any Democratic nominee would champion. Liberal Democrats are now within 1 Supreme Court justice of their highest goal, gaining permanent control of the nation with a 5-vote majority on the Supreme Court, and then relentlessly imposing every liberal policy on the nation, not through winning elections, but through a relentless parade of one Supreme Court decision after another. Even if Clinton were to drop out of the race, perhaps due to additional shocking email disclosures, for example, our choice in the election would be just the same, because any Democratic nominee would appoint the same kind of liberal justices to the court. I consider abortion. On abortion, a liberal court would probably find the ban on partial birth abortion to be unconstitutional. It was upheld by only a 5-4 majority in the Gonzalez versus Carhart case in 2007. In addition, the court could find an absolute right to abortion in the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution and then sweep away with one decision most or all of the restrictions on abortion that pro-life advocates worked for tirelessly over the last 43 years, including ultrasound requirements, waiting periods, parental consent requirements, and prohibitions on non-doctors performing abortions. Voters should not doubt the power of the Supreme Court to abolish all these laws restricting abortions. Think of the power of the Obergefell versus Hodges 5-4 decision in June of 2015. It instantly nullified all the work that thousands of Christians had done over many years in persuading the citizens of 31 states to pass constitutional amendments defining marriage as the union of one man and one woman. But no one is campaigning for such laws or amendments anymore because it would be futile. The Supreme Court has spoken, and therefore the issue is settled in the political system of the United States. We lost, not at the ballot box, but because we had a liberal Supreme Court that nullified the democratic process regarding the definition of marriage. I'll be right back. I'm reading a political treatise written by Dr. Wayne Grudem. Don't go away. I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it. So that we can stay in touch with you. And yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. If you just joined me, I'm Randall Terry, you're watching Voice of Resistance, and I am reading a political treatise about voting for Donald Trump, the ethics of voting for Donald Trump, written by Dr. Wayne Grudem. It was posted on townhall.com the other day, and I thought, this is so good, I'm going to read it. We will continue it tomorrow, and if need be, on the next show, because it's that good. And what I want you to do is go and find this article at townhall.com and send the link to your friends. Or if you think that they would rather watch me recite it on TV, send them the link to this episode and to the ones that follow. So I continue. And again, Dr. Grudem, great work. He's talking about abortion and how that if the Supreme Court is stacked to 6, 7, 8, 9 justices by Hillary Clinton or any Democratic nominee, this is what he says. So it would certainly be it would be an end of efforts to place legal limitations on abortion. Nobody would campaign anymore for laws to limit abortions because any such laws would be unconstitutional, according to the Supreme Court, my words. The legislative lobbying work of pro-life advocacy groups would be totally and utterly defeated. Millions of unborn children would continue to die. How about religious liberty? The current liberal agenda often includes suppressing Christian opposition to its views. So a liberal court would increasingly nullify rights of conscience with respect to forced participation in same-sex marriage ceremonies or expressing moral objections to homosexual conduct. Already Christians are being pushed out of many occupations. Florists, bakers, and professional photographers have had their businesses destroyed by large fines for refusal to contribute their artistic talents to a specific event, a same-sex wedding ceremony to which they had moral objections. Fire Chief Kelvin Cochran in Atlanta was removed from his job because of self-publishing a religious book that briefly mentioned the Bible's teachings regarding non-marital sexual conduct, including homosexuality, amidst a host of other topics. His situation holds ominous implications for any Christians who hold public sector jobs. In our military services, many high-ranking officers have quietly been forced to resign because they were unwilling to give support to the homosexual agenda. Mozilla Firefox CEO Brandon Ike was pushed out from his own company merely because he had donated money to Proposition 8 in California, supporting marriage between one man and one woman. This event has troubling implications for Christians in any corporate executive role who dare to support a political position contrary to the liberal agenda. Last year, Boston urologist Paul Harvard, a Harvard Medical School faculty member, lost his hospital privileges at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center because he had expressed concerns about the medical dangers associated with same-sex activity. We're out of time on today's program. For those of you who just joined me, I'm reading a political treatise written by Dr. Wayne Grudem, which deals with the ethics of voting for Donald Trump. Is it ethical? Is it morally okay to vote for Donald Trump? This appeared at townhall.com. I urge you to go to that site, find it, send links to all your friends. If you want, send them a link to this show. You can find it at voiceofresistance.com. But this is the type of reasoning that we need to free people from this delusion that somehow it is unethical to vote for Donald Trump at this moment in history, friends, it's not only ethical, it's probably ethically required. I'll see you tomorrow.